Hello and welcome to my channel. So today I have for you a huge stack of ideas using just book pages of different kinds. But before we dive into these almost 15 different ideas, what I wanted to do was show you all what I really mean by book pages. For someone just starting out in as a junk journaler, you would want to know what are different book pages and what are the different books that you can use, right? Because we are always talking about using book pages and hoarding different books. So I just want to shed a little light on that. So when I say book pages, I mean pages from different kinds of books that you collect over time. Now, these are books that you don't really need to spend a lot on. You can get them easily at thrift stores or these what do you call them, flea markets or old book sales like we have here, or just get handed down to you in your family. So the first kind of book that I would recommend is using storybooks. Little kids storybooks have some amazing pictures in them, and they are just so aesthetically printed. So I think book pages are great source of images, and they have sometimes they have really cool fonts as well. So book pages are fun to use. This is another book page. Just look at this beautiful scenery. This would look great in a journal. So I'm talking about old storybooks. Then you have something like this, recipe books that have, you get recipes on one side, and then they are accompanied by some delicious photos. So these also look great in a journal if you're making something related to cooking, or if you're just making a recipe book. You just want some backgrounds for your recipe book. These books will come in handy. And then I have what I call this huge flower book. This is something called Flower Arranger, but it has some brilliant flower images. I have hacked into this book so many times, and it's still got plenty. Just look at that. This is a whole page of this beautiful image, and there's just so much you can do with this. Look how beautiful that is. So you need to get yourself something like this, maybe brochures or catalogs of different kinds. You get these tutorial books, instruction manuals of knitting or stitching or tailoring designs and patterns, or crochet designs or carpet designs or patterns. And these books really come in handy because I have used a lot from this particular one. Then you can have something like this. This was a lucky find. It's just related to Mother's Day theme. So it has these cool poetry in it, then some really beautiful images like this. I've used this as well. Then this another one was I think one of my best finds, because this was a really hefty fat one, as you can see, and I have already used plenty of pages from this. Now what this is just patterns of different kinds and different colors. This was basically what do you call, patterns for clothing of some kind, and it has like different colors of patterns of fabrics. So this was an amazing find. So you need not necessarily look for clothing patterns. You'll get free catalogs sometimes for different wallpapers, and even they have pretty you know patterns and textured papers or stuff, and that would be interesting as well. Then I have this another very scenic and very beautiful book with these very pretty images of different locations in Britain. These would look so great in a journal. So these are all just images. There is no text here. It's all just different images, and this, I love this one as well. So what I do is, based on what I'm making, I pick up whatever book I think suits the theme and what I'm going with, and then make different things. And yes, I forgot, you can also use music books, because you get that black and white background to work with. So even these are fine. And your books need not necessarily always have images in them. Just plain text is also great, because there are plenty of ideas even in here where I've just used pages that only had text on them. Like for this one, the first idea is using, let's just put all of this aside for a minute. Okay, so the first idea is using Bookpages to make your tags whatever size you wish for. Now what I've done here simply is I have just taken a cardstock of some kind. You could repurpose wedding invites or things that you no longer use, and what I've done is just collaged the whole cardstock with different book pages. Then I have, for this one, I have glued some threads here, added some images and stuff, and just cut up the whole cardstock, and it gives you different pieces. And then I've gone over and sewn along the edge, so it gives you a really beautiful piece to use as a tag or some space to write upon, right? You can make them as big as you want or as small as you like. This here is a decoupaged napkin. I have just glued napkin over it and stamped some images over it. So that is the first idea, using book pages to make tags. The next idea is this. I have, I think, a tutorial also on how I made these. These are super simple sleeves or long pockets, you can call them. Now what I have done is I have just taken a book page that was floral and already busy, and I have just simply folded it and created a sleeve, and it just looks so good on its own. And I will leave the link down below if you're interested to see how I made these. The next idea is one of my favorites, and also one of the earliest ones that I did a video on, I guess. This is flowers from a different book I had. These are flower images that I have cut into squares and just used an eyelet to hold them together. I have given them a backing of craft paper and sewn along the edges, so they kind of give you a little interest when they move around, and you can just clip them on in your journal like that, and they just look so cute and so pretty. The next idea is using plain book pages, but what I've done here is simply folded the book page over itself and used your regular distress oxides to color the page, and added a few stamps on it and made a pocket. You could apply glue on three sides and glue it down so you have two pockets like this. So this is also another great idea, simple to do. Then I have this cute envelopes that I made. You can make them as big as you want or as small and elaborate as you like. So I have just folded my piece of book page and then sewed around the edge, sewed around the flap of the envelope also, and just added a sticker. And just how cool does that look? Now this page was from an atlas, I guess, uh, using atlas or map books. That's another great idea. Then I have these little booklet ideas. Now, if you have a certain image in your book that you really like and that you'd like to use. So now this was sort of a long image of these flowers. So I just folded them in half and added a few craft papers inside. I've stapled them, as you can see, and I have myself a cute little booklet ready. Now this can go into my journal inside a pocket, or I can clip it on, and it'll be just so interesting. Similarly, this is from the recipe book that I showed you. You can simply add a few pages inside and you have a booklet ready. Then I have these different types of pockets that I've made. This is, I think, one of the most famous folds creating pockets. It's there on Pinterest as well. You just take up a book page, and I think this is again from the book of maps, the atlas that I spoke about, and you just give it a fold and you create yourself several different pockets. This one is from the uh, pattern paper that I told you, this book. And what I've done is simply folded the page like this, and I've just added some little decoration here, and you could either glue it down or you could sew the edges closed and you'll have yourself a pocket. So it's just playing around with whatever patterns and stuff we already have on the paper and making use of that. Then I have what I call the over the page pocket. Now what is this is it's basically a long piece of ephemera. It goes over your page like this on your journal. So it has a pocket here and a pocket at the back, and you can just add a clip to it and clip it in place, and it stays like that. And I think I have a tutorial for this as well, and I'll link it down below. If you think you need a tutorial for any of the things that I'm showing, please tell me in the comments and I will try to create a video giving a tutorial of whatever you want explained. Now this is another of my favorite ideas. Now this particular page I really love the image, and I really like because it's the whole page is just one image. So usually when we are using book pages, we might hack into it, cut into it, and destroy the image. But what I really like doing is, when I love a particular image, then I want it to be my uh, you know journal page. Okay, complete journal page. Now usually what you do is you would fold the page in half and then attach it into your journal. But what I did was, or plan to do rather, is because this page on the other side has this beautiful piece of poetry which I don't want to spoil by folding it in half. Sorry about the shaking of the camera. Now I would fold it in half and the poetry would be folded, which I don't want. I want the poetry to be intact. So what I would do is fold it in thirds like this. Okay, and then you could either sew it in here in your journal, and then it could fold up like this, and it will also add a little interest to your journal. So when you open the page, it gives you the whole image. So I really like this idea as well. Then I have this other idea where I have used my book pages as journal covers. Now I just showed you the large book with different flowers. Now this is an image from that book. I have used it as a journal cover. What I've done is simply added a tea stained page on the inside and just added a few tea stained and handmade papers as journal sheets and sewn them in, and I have a journal ready. This is again from the pattern book. I've just used it as a journal cover for a small simple single signature journal. This as well, this is from a masterboard that I made using Bookpages. So you have your sheets inside like this. So you can definitely use your book pages, with either with text or with some patterns or some good image that you really like. You can turn them into journal covers. Then the next idea is these fun envelopes that I made using different book pages. As you can see, these are funky envelopes folded in a funky fashion, that you have a pocket like this. Tell me if you need a tutorial for any of these and I'll be happy to make a video and put it on for you guys. Now this is the next idea, funky envelopes. Then I have this other next idea, which is a floating pocket, and I have a tutorial for this on my channel. You can look it up and I'll leave the link down below as well. Now what these are complete finished pockets that you can clip onto your journal page or glue them in. I just meant them to be floating pockets, suppose it to be clipped on, so that you don't really have to glue them on. So these were, it had a pocket here and a pocket here. Similarly for this as well. This book page is from, I think, a book about honeybees and wasps. Different beautiful images in that book as well. Just look at this. This one too. So you can create these floating pockets, and if you're interested to see how I made these, I'll leave the link down below and you can look it up. The next idea is to create these cute little journaling spots. Now what I've done is I've just used a simple cardstock and I've glued a book page with some fancy cutting at the edge, added a sticker or an image and some little word, add a bow with a twine, and it's done. So simple and so cute to make. The next idea is to use book pages to make greeting cards, and I've just used different sizes of different pieces of book pages and just glued them on like a collage, and used a little doily over here and on the inside as well. So this just, you just have leave some space for writing whatever message you want, and you have yourself a handmade beautiful greeting card using book pages. This idea is one of my most favorite ones. What I do here is I just take up text only part of the book page, and I just use simple markers, sketch pens, sharpies, whatever you have on hand, and I just draw like whatever, like leaves, flowers, or anything. And these are so good to go in a journal, like something of interest. You can use these as pockets themselves, or you can cut them up and use them as parts of collage, or they're just so much uh, versatile to use. I in free time, when I'm not doing anything and when I run out of ideas and I want to do something simple and fun, this is what I usually do. And I've used plenty of these as well. My last and the cutest idea is to make yourself a bookmark using book pages and some stickers. Just a little bit of twine or ribbon at the top, and it's done. Tell me how you found all the ideas and which ones were your favorite, and leave me comments below if you need tutorials for any of these ideas that I've shown today. And do like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until we meet again, take care. Bye.